Okay, we are live. Hello. Okay, so this week, like always, short development vlog, just going over what I done in the previous week. So I think we're up to week 14 now. Um, these remaining weeks will not be purely production because I have a report to do now. Um, so I'll start and plan for that. Should be great. But this week I felt a little bit burnt out delivering the alpha. Um, the alpha was just a lot of work to sort of get to the standard of what it was. I was okay with the standard. One of my mates had a really good playthrough, but to be fair, then the bugs and the cracks started to show, which was not great. But to be fair, that week just literally killed me. So I've been taking it sort of relatively easy this week, like away from FMP work, focusing maybe like on other things. I have like another unit to do and stuff like this. But I'll be back into it next week, which will be great. And a lot to do, a lot to repair. I have a good bug list going, but all the admin stuff, my logbooks, they're up to date now, which is great. So I don't have to worry about that. Um, and yeah, and this week I made great strides towards publishing on Steam. So I'm attempting to sign up to Steamworks as we speak. I'm in a waiting period now where they have to review my application um, and basically like accept, deny, whatever, and they'll tell me what I should, what I got wrong if they deny me. But hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully it doesn't take 30 days. They're saying it will. It can take up to 30 days, but if I get the green light on that, I can publish like a month from now, so like end of May time, which would be great. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Having my game on Steam, I think it's a big deal. To be fair, I was thinking I'm not sure if it's jumping the gun, but because I have little experience in publishing, but I don't know. It's definitely going to be a milestone in my life to get a game just uploaded on Steam. The price count, I'm still not sure about. It's basically I want the price to reflect the quality of the game at the end. I'm not going to take the piss because it's people's money. This project was never for the money. Obviously, it's like a university project. I'm not in it to make a profit, so whatever. But I'm sure I'll find. I'll just get better details of the price of the game moving forward, but it will not be much basically. um, but yeah, so polishing this week and polishing next week, bug fixing. There was a lot of issues with dying and the game manager missing its prefabs. So it has a reference to a puzzle item here. If you die, the reference would go missing, and you could actually not complete the puzzle on like respawning. So these things, obviously, I need to um, tweak. Missing colliders. So these pipes don't have colliders here, so you could actually just escape the map, which one of my mates did, which was quite funny. So I would definitely put like colliders on them, fix them. I have even double colliders on some objects, which is a bit weird. I just noticed as well. Um, so like two box collider, like things like this, I will sort out. Um, Performance related issues as well. So I was having performance related, just issues like FPS, like frame rate and stuff like that. And I think I narrowed it down to just a whole bunch of things really. So for instance, because I'm using Wise, which is an audio plugin, it comes with a Wise Global, which has all my AK banks for like my sounds. So I have an Atmos one, sound effects, character, monsters. But I was under the impression this was a singleton. So when I entered a room, it would destroy its like its sister partner or whatever if it had a duplicate, but it actually doesn't. So if you respawned, this would just create another copy of itself, and it would basically duplicate the sound. And yeah, I don't know if many people noticed this, but I definitely did. So like the torches like would get double the sound effects, and yeah, it was bad on why's basically can like eat away at my performance. But I want to take this blog post to later on talk about the level design I did for my game and how I basically thought about the AI movement and the mobility when I was designing these rooms, these levels. So I'll talk about that in a bit. Um, but also as well, debug messages. I don't know if this is true, but I've researched into it. If you have a debug.log message called up and update every frame, it can harm the performance in the editor. I'm not sure about the build, but it can actually, like, if I'm sending a message to the console like every frame, because I was doing that for raycasting, picking up objects, and it was harming my frame rate. Um, Turns out can be an issue, so look into that. But yeah, another bug. I know I'm going through the bugs. This last one quite funny. You could pick up an object and essentially have it. You could look down with it and keep jumping on the object, and so you repeatedly jump up in the air, which was quite funny. One of my mates did that for his playtest. It's quite amusing, but obviously, I hope to make amends. But okay, going into levels and AI. Forsaken Ruins has 5 levels. Level 1 acts as sort of like a tutorial level, as a puzzle, demonstration. It will have scripted events and all these sort of things, but no way for like any sort of physical damage from an AI. So there's no AI like roaming about. Um, there is sort of like a puzzle events that will cause damage, like inflict damage. So you're aware of that mechanic, but no actual real danger. It's mainly just teaching the player. But going on to level 2, which is sort of the entry for AI. So how I designed this, I wanted a big room. Oh, I essentially wanted a multi-story environment. I wanted a big enough room for puzzles and a big enough room for the AI to basically traverse. Because the Unsighted is a slender monster, I sort of wanted an environment in which it can pass through like doorways like this and go upstairs and things like this, and really sort of maybe even be a duplicate of the player movement, so where you can access the Unsighted can as well, because it's sort of a similar physique to the player. Like obviously it's much bigger and sort of longer, but I wanted the mobility, the movement to be like the same. So it's the biggest environment out of the 5 levels. Moving on to level 3, so this was going to be the darkest of all the areas, and this houses the gremlin. Um, I don't want to make it as big as level 2, um, but I did want it to be sort of unique in the way that it had its own personality. So obviously it's going to be the darkest, it's going to be the storage area, and I wanted to have that same multi-story sort of vibe going on. So we have 2 sort of levels for this one. And talking about sort of AI movement, because the size of the gremlin is about maybe half the size of the player, I've made these sort of exit points for the gremlin to run into and the player can't access. So obviously you imagine the gremlin sort of just waiting here, and then it can go in and out, and from its choosing. And there's about I think 9 points it can go from to the top as well. So it's basically, this is going to cause it to sort of appear out of nowhere, or as if it's appearing out of nowhere, maybe jump on the player and surprise him. I'm hoping for the AI to act in like their unique ways, like because there's 3 of them. I want them to act sort of differently. But that's what I had for this room. So basically, this is the gremlin room. This is his sort of. He can go through holes and jump out and surprise the player. I'll be talking about sort of AI mechanics and maybe a later blog. But then we go to level 4, which is the Warden. This is sort of like a chapel area. I wanted to make this area sort of cramped. So like we got the staircase going down, and then we go into the sort of the big hall. But we have these sort of corridors around the big hall as well, which are kind of cramped. But we go in here, and the warden is basically really like protective of this area. So you're gonna have a puzzle here which involves sort of like distracting the warden and sort of like grabbing the key. But the warden is very protective, so not many places for him to go. It's essentially just this room, but hopefully there will be a unique puzzle in here. But yeah, and then that's essentially it for levels 2, 3, and 4 and their respective AI. I hope you've enjoyed this blog post, and later on I will be talking about sort of how the AI interact in their own different ways. But yeah, okay, that's it for now. So take it easy, and I will see you in the next blog post.